Hello, 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 and welcome back to English with Me, the podcast where we help you speak English more naturally, more confidently, and more fluently, one conversation at a time. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rebecca. And today we have a topic that is very, very close to Mike's heart.
Very close to my heart, and honestly, very close to my hands too, because I am literally holding a cup of coffee right now as we record this.
Of course you are, of course. You are literally never without a cup, Mike. I think I've never seen you without coffee in your hand.
That is actually completely true, and I have zero regrets. Zero.
So today we are talking about coffee culture in English. We'll be chatting about vocabulary, expressions, and everything you need to talk about coffee like a native English speaker. It's going to be a great one, so stay with us all the way to the end. Trust me, there are some really useful phrases coming up that you don't want to miss.
Absolutely. And hey, whether you love coffee or you can't stand it, coffee culture is everywhere. In the office, on dates, in movies, in everyday small talk, knowing how to talk about coffee in English is genuinely useful. So let's get into it.
Okay, Mike, let's start with the basics. When you walk into a coffee shop, what are the most common types of coffee that you'll see on the menu?
Oh, great question. So, the foundation of almost everything in Western coffee culture is the espresso. An espresso is a small, very concentrated shot of coffee, usually just about 30 milliliters, but it is incredibly strong and rich. And honestly, it's beautiful. It's art in a tiny cup.
Art in a tiny cup. Mike, you are so dramatic about coffee.
I fully am, and I stand by it. So, from espresso, you get a whole family of drinks. You have the latte, which is espresso plus steamed milk and a little bit of milk foam on top. Very creamy, very smooth. Then there's the cappuccino, which has equal parts espresso, steamed milk, and milk foam, so it's a bit stronger than a latte and has that thick, fluffy foam.
I do like a cappuccino, actually. The foam is so nice. But I have to be careful because even a cappuccino can make me feel a bit wired.
Wired, yes, let's explain that word. When we say someone feels wired, it means they feel overly energized or even anxious from caffeine, like your heart is racing and your brain is going a mile a minute.
Exactly, that's me after one cappuccino. My brain just goes bzzz.
That's amazing. Okay, so back to the menu. You also have the flat white, which is popular especially in Australia and New Zealand and now very trendy everywhere. It's similar to a latte but smaller and with a higher ratio of espresso to milk, so it's stronger.
Ooh, a flat white. What about an Americano? I feel like I hear that word a lot.
Yes, an Americano is espresso diluted with hot water, so it's like a long black coffee. It's less intense than a straight espresso, but still pretty strong. And fun fact, the name Americano supposedly comes from American soldiers in World War II who diluted Italian espresso because it was too strong for them.
Oh, really? That's such a fun piece of trivia. I did not know that.
Coffee history is fascinating, Rebecca. This is what happens when you love coffee. You learn things like this.
Okay, what about cold coffee? Because I feel like cold brew is everywhere now.
Oh yes, cold brew is huge right now. So cold brew is made by steeping, meaning soaking, coarsely ground coffee in cold water for a long time, usually 12 to 24 hours. The result is a very smooth, less acidic coffee concentrate. It's not the same as iced coffee, by the way. Iced coffee is just regular hot coffee poured over ice, whereas cold brew is made cold from the beginning.
Interesting. So they taste different?
Very different. Cold brew is smoother and a bit sweeter naturally because the cold water extracts different compounds from the coffee. Iced coffee is a bit more sharp and acidic. I love both, honestly.
Of course you do. What about you? What's your personal order, Mike? What do you get when you walk into a coffee shop?
Cortado. Every time.
A cortado. Explain that one.
A cortado is a Spanish drink. The word cortado literally means cut in Spanish because the espresso is cut with a small amount of warm milk. It's about equal parts espresso and steamed milk, but without all the extra foam. It's strong, it's smooth, it's balanced, it's perfect.
You're like a coffee sommelier, Mike. That's a great word, by the way. A sommelier is an expert in wine, or in this case, coffee. Someone with deep knowledge about flavors, origins, and preparation.
I'll take that. Coffee sommelier. I love it.
Okay, let's talk about the culture side of things. Because coffee isn't just a drink, right? It's a whole lifestyle in many English speaking countries. Mike, what does coffee culture actually mean to you?
Great question. I think coffee culture is about more than just the drink. It's about the ritual. The moment in the morning where you brew your coffee and just breathe. It's about the coffee shop being a place where you work, meet friends, go on dates, have important conversations. In places like the US, UK, Canada, and Australia, the cafe is almost like a social institution.
That's so true. There's even a phrase, let's grab a coffee, which doesn't necessarily mean you want coffee. It just means you want to meet up and spend time together, right?
Exactly. Let's grab a coffee is one of the most common social invitations in English. It's casual, friendly, low pressure. You could say it to a coworker, a new acquaintance, a romantic interest. It's the perfect way to suggest getting together without it feeling too formal.
What about coffee date? Is that different?
A coffee date is a bit more intentional. Usually it implies a romantic context. Like if you ask someone on a coffee date, that's closer to saying, I'd like to get to know you better. But it's still casual, which is why it's a popular first date idea.
Much lower stakes than dinner, right?
Much lower stakes. You can always make it quick if things aren't going well, or stay for hours if they are. The coffee shop gives you that flexibility.
That is genius, actually. Okay, I want to bring up something that I think a lot of English learners will relate to. What about all the vocabulary around coffee shops and ordering? Like, it can feel really overwhelming when you walk in and there are so many options and the barista is waiting and
Oh, yes, the barista. Let's talk about that word. A barista is the person who prepares and serves coffee in a cafe. The word comes from Italian and originally just meant bartender, but in English today it specifically refers to a coffee professional. And a good barista really knows their craft. It's a skilled job.
absolutely. And some of those baristas are incredibly talented with latte art too.
Oh, latte art. Yes. Latte art is when the barista uses steamed milk to create patterns or designs on the surface of the coffee. You've seen those little hearts, rosettas, or leaf patterns on top of a latte? That's latte art.
I love getting a latte with a little heart on it. It just makes the drink feel extra special, doesn't it?
It really does. It's one of those small things that makes your morning a little bit brighter.
All right, let's talk about some really common English expressions and idioms that involve coffee, because there are quite a few. Mike, do you want to kick us off?
Love it. Okay, so one of my favorites is, it's not my cup of tea. Now, technically this uses tea, not coffee, but it's a very widely used English expression that means something is not to your liking or not suitable for you. For example, I tried watching horror movies, but they're really not my cup of tea.
Yes. And the interesting thing is, even coffee drinkers use this expression all the time in English. It just means not for me.
Exactly. Then there's wake up and smell the coffee, which means stop ignoring reality and pay attention to what's actually happening. Like wake up and smell the coffee. This project is behind schedule.
I love that one. And there's coffee talk, which refers to casual, informal conversation, like a light chat over coffee with no serious agenda.
Yes. And a coffee break, which is a short rest from work, typically around 10 to 15 minutes, where people grab a hot drink and recharge. In many workplaces, coffee breaks are actually built into the schedule.
I could use a coffee break right now, honestly, except I'd probably get a decaf.
Decaf. Rebecca. That's practically hot water with a dream.
Mike, how dare you? Decaf is legitimate.
You're right, I'm sorry. For those who are new to the word, decaf is short for decaffeinated, meaning coffee with most or all of the caffeine removed. It has the flavor of coffee without the stimulating effect. Rebecca is a big decaf fan.
I am, because I genuinely cannot handle caffeine. Even a small amount makes me feel jittery, which means nervous, shaky, and overly restless. My hands literally tremble after too much coffee.
Ah, that's tough. So what do you normally order?
Decaf latte every time. Or sometimes a chai latte, which isn't coffee at all, it's a spiced tea drink with steamed milk. But chai lattes are so popular in coffee shops now that I think they count as part of coffee culture.
Totally. And honestly, that's something important to know. Modern coffee shops serve a huge variety of drinks. You'll find matcha lattes, hot chocolate, various teas, smoothies. So even if you don't drink coffee, you can still enjoy the coffee shop experience.
Exactly, there's something for everyone. And that's actually a great phrase to know, there's something for everyone. It means the selection is diverse enough that no matter what your preference is, you'll find something you like.
Okay, Rebecca, let's do a little role play to help our listeners practice. Imagine we're at a coffee shop and you're ordering for the first time. I'll be the barista. Ready?
Oh, yes, I love this. Okay, let's go.
Hi there, welcome in. What can I get started for you today?
Hi, could I get a medium latte, please, with oat milk if you have it?
Absolutely. Oat milk latte. Would you like any syrups with that? We have vanilla, caramel, and hazelnut.
Ooh, could I get vanilla, please? And is it possible to make it a bit less sweet?
Of course. I'll do one pump of vanilla instead of two. Can I get a name for the order?
Rebecca, please.
Perfect. That'll be ready for you in just a moment. Great job. That was very natural.
Thank you. See, a key phrase there is it possible to? It's such a polite, natural way to make a special request. More polite than just saying make it less sweet.
Exactly. In English, especially in service situations, being polite and indirect is appreciated. Other good phrases are could I get instead of I want. Could I get a cappuccino? Sounds much more natural than I want a cappuccino.
And I'll have is also very common, like I'll have the cold brew, please.
Perfect. These small changes in phrasing make you sound much more fluent and natural.
Mike, let's talk about coffee habits around the world for a moment, because I think that's fascinating and there's some great vocabulary around it.
Oh, yes. So different cultures have very different relationships with coffee. In Italy, for example, espresso culture is very traditional. Italians often drink their espresso standing at the bar, quickly in just a few minutes, and it's very much a social, communal thing. Ordering a to-go cup is much less common there than in, say, the United States.
Whereas in America, the whole grab and go culture is huge, right?
Huge. Grab and go means picking something up quickly without sitting down. American coffee culture is very much about convenience. Large sizes, drive-through coffee shops, customizable orders with dozens of options.
Which is why Starbucks became so massive globally, right? The whole concept of a customizable coffee order is kind of American.
Exactly. And now we have this whole vocabulary around Starbucks orders, like a grande iced skinny vanilla latte, which sounds like its own language.
It really does. For our listeners, skinny in a coffee context means made with non-fat milk or with a sugar-free syrup. It's not necessarily a compliment to the coffee, it just means lower calorie.
Right. And grand is Starbucks' word for medium. They have their own sizing system. Tall is small, grand is medium, venti is large.
Which still confuses people every time. Tall meaning small is just counterintuitive.
It really is. Counterintuitive is a great word, by the way. It means the opposite of what you would logically expect.
Great word. Okay, what about coffee culture in Australia? Because I feel like Australians are very serious about their coffee.
Yes, Australia and New Zealand have an incredibly strong cafe culture. They were actually ahead of the trend on espresso-based drinks and specialty coffee. When Starbucks first tried to expand into Australia, they actually struggled because Australians already had such high standards for coffee quality.
Really? I didn't know that.
True story. And Australians are behind the flat white becoming globally popular. It's now on menus all over the world, largely because of Australian cafe culture spreading internationally.
Coffee culture is so interesting because it really does reflect the personality and values of a culture, like the Italian focus on quality and tradition, the American focus on convenience and customization, the Australian focus on craftsmanship and cafe as a social hub.
That was beautifully put, Rebecca. Craftsmanship, meaning the skill and care put into making something, is a perfect word for what great baristas do.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's do a quick vocabulary recap so our listeners can take notes. Mike, do you want to run through some of the key words from today?
Absolutely. Okay, so we talked about espresso, the concentrated base of many coffee drinks. Then latte, cappuccino, flat white, and cortado, all espresso-based drinks with milk in different ratios. Cold brew, coffee steeped in cold water for many hours. Americano, espresso diluted with hot water.
We talked about a barista, the skilled person who prepares coffee. Latte art, the decorative designs made with steamed milk. And decaf, coffee without caffeine, which is my best friend.
Rebecca's best friend. We also covered expressions like let's grab a coffee, meaning let's meet up casually. Wake up and smell the coffee, meaning face reality. And not my cup of tea, meaning something isn't to your liking.
And vocabulary like wired, overly energized by caffeine. Jittery, shaky and nervous, usually from too much caffeine. Grab and go, picking something up quickly. And counterintuitive, the opposite of what you'd expect.
What a list! We covered so much today.
We did. And I hope that our listeners feel much more confident now about talking about coffee in English, whether you're ordering at a cafe, chatting with colleagues, or just making small talk.
All right, we are getting close to the end of today's episode, but before we go, Rebecca, final question. If you could handle caffeine normally, what coffee drink would you try?
Oh, honestly, a properly made cortado. After hearing you describe it today, it sounds just perfect. Small, balanced, elegant.
Yes, you would love it. I knew it. I'm going to make you a decaf cortado someday, and you are going to be converted.
A decaf cortado, can you even do that?
100% you can. Any espresso drink can be made with decaf beans. Rebecca, this is happening.
Okay, I'm holding you to that. And for you, our wonderful listeners, what is your coffee order? Let us know in the comments. Are you team strong espresso like Mike or team decaf please like me?
And if you're Team Strong Espresso, you clearly have excellent taste. Just saying.
Mike, so rude. Don't listen to him. All coffee orders are valid and beautiful.
All coffee orders are valid and beautiful. I love that actually. Before we say goodbye, we want to give a huge heartfelt thank you to everyone who has been supporting the English with Me podcast. Your support genuinely means the world to us and helps us keep making these episodes for you.
And if you'd like to support the show, well, since this is a coffee episode, what better way than to buy us a coffee? It really does help us keep brewing great English content for you, pun absolutely intended. The link is right there in the description below, so if you feel like treating us, we would truly appreciate it so much.
And of course, the best thing you can do for free is subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with a friend who is learning English. Word of mouth is everything for a podcast like ours.
All right, that's all for today. I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Mike.
See you in the next episode of English with Me.
I'm going to go get my second coffee now.
Of course you are.